Hi everyone, we're back.
Hey, welcome back. We are here and we are talking about the next part of the locked book, which was, we did this last week, and it's kind of an adventure where you are, transporting yourself into different planes. You're transporting the party into different planes and having like some cool planar adventures and stuff.
Yeah, and Ben came up with this idea, and as we were out smoking cigars one day, and Ben, why don't you tell him about, what do you call this, the time demon?
The time demon.
Okay, here we go.
Okay, because you are teleporting into other realities and shifting into different dimensions and times, there is you're gonna awaken some pretty bad stuff.
Some bad stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
Not good.
And this guy is the time demon. And the time demon is a monster that he's kind of a guardian, like a temporal guardian, right? So if you're messing up with timelines, you're teleporting into places you're not supposed to be, and the book has powers, like strong powers that can do, once you get the book unlocked, and we'll do an episode on this maybe at the end, once you get that book unlocked, the book is going to have some really interesting powers, but it's not meant for 6th level D&D characters to wield, right? So this guy's job is to set things in order. He's got some minor time demons that are with him, and basically this guy will have some really interesting powers. And then he's going to come in and fight the party. And so I wanted to come up with some really cool powers that he might have. So one of them, I think, is that he should be hasted, because he's fast, right? So he acts as though he's always under haste. And when you pass within 30 feet of him, he has an aura that will slow you. You can save against it to not be
kind
slowed.
of warps time, I guess.
Yeah. He is always hasted, and he will slow you. You have to save, or you'll be slowed if you get within a certain distance of him. And he's got a few other interesting powers. One that I really liked was that he can, if he hits you, he can blast you forward in time. So what that would mean would be like, if you take damage, you would save, and if you fail your save, you are basically blinked out of time. And then when it's his turn next, you're brought back to wherever you were at, whatever you were doing at the last turn.
I love this idea.
So it just teleports you out and then back in, and just pushes you forward in time. So if he hits you and you don't save, you lose your turn and you respawn like about to swing your sword at a wall or whatever.
See, this is why Ben gets paid the big bucks, because he thinks up a lot of cool stuff.
Another thing that is going to be a little tricky from a DMing perspective, but that I think is important, is one big problem that a lot of people have with installing like a big bad evil guy, is that the party always has a chance of just like killing them, or just really messing them up or whatever. And one power that this guy can have is that once a day he can reset a turn. So it's a little tricky to keep track of, but like if your party just starts beating on him and they do whatever 200 damage to him in a round and he should be dead, he can revert back the turn to the beginning of to the last time he went. And so it requires a little bit of bookkeeping on your hand, but it is a way that like if something ends up really bad happening, he can revert back to his original time. And he can plane shift at will, so he can teleport out whenever he needs to. Yeah. When the party kills him, he just teleports somewhere else instead of dying. And
almost like an eternal villain kind of thing that you constantly have to worry about every time you use or abuse the book.
Yes.
He shows up to kind of smack you around a little bit.
He can sense the presence of this book, and anytime you use any of the powers that it has, because it has some powers to it. But anytime you use them, he'll sense that through time and space and come looking for you.
Love it.
And you're not supposed to defeat this guy. This guy is an unstoppable force. When he shows up, your party is not expected to face this guy. He's very powerful, and he has some really cool abilities that we'll detail on the site.
Yeah.
And mostly you are supposed to, when this guy shows up, it's just supposed to add that clock, like you gotta get out of here, because this guy is not somebody who's going to be messed with.
Yes. Yes.
And so you had some interesting times with the design for this guy.
Yeah, I'm not happy with him. I spent literally 2.5 days painting this tiny little picture because I filled a garbage can full of demon shapes that I didn't like. And I finally just went, well, I'll go the traditional route. I'll put some horns on him and stuff and a tail, and I sent it to Ben, and Ben loves it. Ben loves this idea.
Well, you have 3 versions of it too, right? So you have them when he's like fading in and out, which is what I want him to be able to do,
Yeah.
right? He's ethereal almost.
So what I did is basically just do a shadow that's almost like a shadow, and it looks like something that you just pulled out of the night sky, you know? He's not a shambling thing with the gigantic teeth and that kind of demon thing. He's more of a form, and maybe shape-shifting form as well too. So that was my kind of concept behind it. But Ben's happy with this painting. I hope you are too. I'm not. I want to do better. So, yeah.
Well, I think it's great.
Okay,
and,
thank you.
And he's going to be cool, and we have some neat powers and some neat stuff that we can do with him. And like you said, he's shape-shifting, so he can kind of look like whatever, right? He's just supposed to look like a hole in reality. So that's more or less what he is, and he just kind of he's the physical embodiment of the time-space continuum, telling you that you're not supposed to be where you're
Not
at.
supposed to be messing around with that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love it, Ben. This is great.
Yeah.
Yeah. We think you guys are going to love it too. It's a lot of fun.
Awesome. All right.
Okay.
Well,
we'll
go on
see
to
you
the
next time.
one. Thanks, guys.
Bye-bye.